take two. The irony. Oh, we were talking about microphones. I didn't have mine turned on. So, starting over. This is a message to my friend Potato Chips, or Potato Chip Playz, or Lynn. Talking about the equipment that you're wanting to get and why you're wanting to get it. And there's some things that I think you need more information on, because I think you're coming to the wrong conclusions. Sound quality. The environment you're in will have sound. It's not going to be perfectly quiet. If you just, middle of the night, whatever, when your house is at its most quiet, if you listen, you will hear the noise. If you record the silence and then play that back, that noise is probably going to be a little bit louder. You're probably also going to have some electronic noise in there as well, but you've got two problems there. You've got your environmental noise, especially heating and air conditioning, computer fans, noises outside causing minor rumbles in windows and walls, and it all adds up. So you're going to have environmental noise. Without spending tons of money, you can't get away from it. You can Google it, YouTube videos, find out how to get your recording environment quieter, and most of the solutions involve, the good solutions involve construction, mass, as in things that are heavy to deaden sound, especially lower, deeper sounds. And then like all the wall treatments and things that you get like that don't do much to deaden the sound. They just change it so that it's not quite as bright or crisp, tinny, because you're going to get echoes in your environment as well as just the noise before you start making sound. And it just all goes into your microphone, and you have to do what you can do, but you can't do a lot without a lot of money. So most people, when they hear recordings of the content that they want to put on YouTube or whatever, start hearing that background noise, and they think that it's a problem with their equipment. Most of that problem is the environment itself that you're not going to be able to get rid of without a lot of money. Or if we're in Japan, I guess this means money. So you kind of have to learn to accept that you're going to have some background noise. Do what you can, but you can't do a lot without a lot of money. So Google that, look for YouTube videos, how to improve your background noise or reduce your background noise. You'll get some ideas, but you'll probably get a lot of bad ideas too. So be on the lookout for that. Let's see, oh yeah, your equipment can make noise or put more noise into your recording. And again, you're wanting to maximize your signal, which is the sound that you want to be heard, versus your background noise and the noise that your audio equipment is going to put into your recording as well. That pretty much can't be avoided. High-end studio equipment can get that signal to noise ratio really low, or really high, it's a ratio, but they can get that noise level really low, that background noise level that the equipment puts in there, but it's not perfect. So what you're trying to do is make a more acceptable signal to noise ratio. You can't make it perfect, but wanting to make it better is not a bad idea, especially if you are wanting to take audio clips with audio clips and audio clips and put them all together, like if you're doing tracked music, which I don't think you plan on doing. But in that situation, the background noise from each track gets added in, and eventually the background noise starts being louder than everything else. So that's where you really need that good signal to noise ratio. But in most cases, like what I do, I know I've got signal or noise in my signal, but people usually don't complain. I don't think I've had any complaints about that, unless I've had problems with like the digital audio converter getting garbled, or the what is it, the banana voice meter banana. I'm having trouble with that. I don't use it anymore because it was causing problems, and bypassing it seems to have alleviated those problems, at least for now. So, but the point is that people can put up with reasonable noise in your audio. Wanting to make it better and making it better, that's a good thing, but don't make yourself crazy over it. You're looking at the NW-700. What's that stand for? Neewer NW-700 microphone, and I'm going to put 2 links in the description. One will be for a quick review of that microphone from a guy who I've looked at enough of his videos that he knows what he's talking about, and he gets to the point, and he gives you the information that you, the end user, can make decisions on. I think it's going to be a good microphone for you, especially the quality to dollar amount. I think it's a good value. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than holding up your phone and talking to it, or that kind of thing. You're still going to have background noise problems and that kind of thing. I saw a video of someone, that was for the iRig. We'll get into that later. So it's a cardioid condenser mic. And keep in mind, it's a condenser mic, not a what's the other one? Dynamic mic? I can't remember now. But let's make sure that we've got this microphone in here because we need a visual aid. Boop, boop, boop. All right, wow, that's up pretty high. Cardioid mic. It means that it's most sensitive where it's pointing. So whatever is right in front of it, it's going to be most sensitive to. And taking advantage of that sensitivity, that positioning, is going to help improve your signal to noise. And the way the cardioid mic works is it's most sensitive right in front of it, but it's kind of heart-shaped. And then as you move out to the sides or off axis, the sensitivity gets reduced a little bit, and then coming from directly behind it, the sensitivity drops drastically. So it's pretty good anywhere in front of it. So that's useful if you're going to be moving around. Here, let me point it right at me. Wow, that was pretty noisy. So if I'm over here, or if I'm directly in front of it, or I'm over here, and even way off to the side, yeah, that's still picking up pretty well, then it's going to get a good signal. Now we can leave that there. If you're just doing voice, then you want to be directly in front of it to improve that signal, especially if you've got a noisy environment, or especially if you have noisy equipment or a creaky chair, so that you get more signal, because the noise is going to be pretty much the same. So by getting more signal into your microphone, you're going to improve that signal to noise ratio. What else do we know about this Neewer? So that's basically cardioid. Oh, if you're playing guitar and singing, or if you're trying to mic 2 different sound sources at the same time, hopefully they're pretty close together, and hopefully that you can get them in a fairly tight angle off of, does that work? Yeah, off of that microphone, so that both sources are in front of it. If one is quieter than the other, then you would want to point it directly at the quieter one, and then still try to get that louder one still basically on axis of the microphone. That Neewer comes with a special cable that is XLR on one end. I don't have an example, but you can look up XLR. And then the other end is an 1/8 inch. I can't see me. Is that in camera? Yeah, 1/8 inch can't remember what that's called. I think it's a phono plug or headphone jack. That one's a microphone, and this one would be for microphone as well. And I think it's also stereo. Not that that matters much. It might matter actually, due to the power requirements of the microphone, which we'll get into. But so anyway, the cable that comes with it, XLR on one end, 1/8 inch on the other end, which means that it can plug directly into any phone. Oh, that's not true. Not all phones have headphone jacks now. But anything that will take a 1/8 inch plug for a microphone, which is going to be most computers, most tablets, I want to say, maybe even most phones. But you know what you're recording with. If it has a place to plug a microphone in with a 1/8 inch jack like that, then that's what this cable's for. Which means that you don't need the iRig that you're talking about. You might still want it, you might still be able to use it, but if you do want to get the iRig as well, for reasons other than I need it to make this work, it may improve your experience. We'll get into the iRig, but you don't need it. If you still want it, then you're going to need to get a separate XLR to XLR cable, which is the standard microphone cable, or professional microphone, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what XLR stands for. I think it stands for trans left right, because the way it has the 3 pins, it sends the signal in a way so that it sends itself and it sends the opposite of itself. So if it picks up noise, that can be canceled out. You can look that up if you want to. This is not a science lesson. So if you want to use the iRig, then you are going to need the separate XLR cable that does not come with the microphone. It comes with a ball pop filter. Oh goodness, did I pop filter? Yeah. You were talking. I'm going to also link a video to Booth Junkie's video where he reviews a few different pop filters and why you need them, and I'll cover that right now. Pop filters are for plosions, which is microphones, excuse me, have a diaphragm. Most microphones have a diaphragm. There's ribbon microphones, of course, and I think there's some other weirdos as well, which is the sensitive part of the microphone, which translates sound, vibrations in the air, which is what sound is. Again, more science. And it turns that into kinetic energy by moving in response to the sound waves hitting it, which causes it to interact with a magnetic field, and then the changes in that magnetic field get translated into an electronic signal, and that's how you get sound into an electronic signal. More science. So this diaphragm, it's basically like the like Mylar balloons, they've got that, or any balloon really, it's a thin wall that's that's pulled tight and thinned out by the air pressure inside. So you've got this thin membrane, which is the diaphragm of the microphone, and it's sensitive to vibrations in the air, but it's also sensitive to actual kinetic energy. Like if you touched it, it'd be don't touch the diaphragm on an expensive mic. Most of them are shielded from that, but to improve that signal to noise ratio, there's usually a direct line of sight or unobstructed, nothing between your sound source and the diaphragm except the air that's in between. And that means that if you're trying to, especially if you're trying to improve that signal to noise ratio and get right on the microphone and look right, get your sound source going right into it, when you're talking, you can try holding up your hand in front of your mouth pretty close, and you can feel the vibration of the sound quite a bit. It's subtle, but if you're looking for it, you can feel it. And but even more than that, you can feel your breath on your hand, and that breath, some syllables, especially B's and P's, you put out more air in a more concussive way, and the diaphragm on the microphone very sensitive to that. So if you are on access, especially, and if you're mouth is pointed directly at your microphone, at the diaphragm of the microphone, and you're close, then that concussive, because if you hold your hand out here, you can't really feel the plosives, the concussion from the wind of your speech on your hand. But when you get close, you can. So you're trying to maximize your signal to noise ratio by increasing your signal, staying close to your mic, on access, talking. You don't need to talk right at it, but again, wanting to raise that signal to noise ratio. And so then those breaths, especially those plosive sounds, the P's and the B's, and then there's others as well, but those seem to be those are going to cause wind on your microphone. Let me bring my meter up. So if I'm just talking, I'm talking quietly, but if I talk a little bit louder, that's fine. But if I start putting in P's and B's, P's, B's, P's, B's, then I can see that it's hitting my VU meter a little bit harder. I didn't get any clipping there, but I don't think we can give too much credit to this foam cover, but that is part of the reason. The way this mic is designed is it's designed to eliminate a lot of problems that come with people talking directly into it. The microphone that you're getting there, the Neewer, I'm not sure how good it is at that, but unless you're talking directly into it, you probably don't need that pop filter. And if you are, well, even then, you can be like right now, I'm directly next to the microphone. I am on access because it's pointed at where the sound is coming out, but my mouth is not pointed at it. So I lose just a little bit of signal there, but not very much. But my breath is not going directly into the microphone or the microphone diaphragm. So that's a little trick. And then also it comes with a ball pop filter, which, you're thinking, I'm assuming, of the round screens that people put in front of the microphones, and in the studio setups that, when a recording artist is doing a video that includes studio footage, typically they'll have a pop filter in front of the microphone, but it's usually like a $1,000 microphone as well, and they don't have anything else between the microphone and the artist. It doesn't have the foam cover typically, and if it does, then it's probably not the actual recording. It's probably a photo shoot or a video shoot. So the microphone that you're getting comes with a ball pop filter, so you probably won't need to get a separate pop filter. Save that money. And if you're still having problems with clipping from pops and plosives, then try to set the microphone up in a way where the breath coming out of your mouth is not going directly into the microphone, and that's probably going to be good enough. You're not going to be doing high-end recording. You're not going to be trying to please audiophiles. You are going to, maybe eventually, but even then, you're probably going to be redoing things as you get better and as better equipment becomes available to you. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Do the little tricks. Use the pop filter that comes with it, but that's going to be fine. Let's see. Oh, it also comes with a user's manual. So let's see. Oh, the shock mount. I talked about the shock mount in take 1. This is take 2, where we have the microphone actually turned on. Shock mount. We talked about the sound is vibrations in the air. Sound is also vibrations in not physical, but solid objects as well, because air is physical. So your mic stand, your desk, whatever you have your mic stand sitting on, your floor, all conduct sound similarly to air. There's a fly in here. Super. So if you've got your microphone stand sitting on something and that's on the floor or whatever, something hits what the stand is on, something hits the stand, then that kinetic energy is going to be translated into vibrational energy, which is going to go along your mic stand and to your mic, and your microphone is going to interpret that vibration as sound, as signal, and it's going to put that into your electronic signal. So the shock mount reduces that, so that if you, let me see, mine has a built-in shock mount to a degree, but if I knock on my boom arm here, it's still pretty loud. Yeah, that's pretty loud. Or if I move my boom arm, that's not too bad. I can't hear it, but it looks like it's definitely causing a change in the VU meter. So having the shock mount reduces when you need to move your mic stand, or when you hit your mic stand, or you drop something on your desk. You know, the sound is still going to get in the air and in your mic, but the vibration from that is not going to get absorbed up through your mic stand and into your mic as much. So, you know, and footsteps and everything else, bumping the mic stand, moving the mic stand. You know, so basically you're just isolating physical energy, kinetic energy, out of your microphone, and therefore maximizing the sound energy that goes into your microphone, you know, signal to noise ratio wise. What else have we got? Pop filter, shock mount stand. I don't know how good the stand that you're getting is. I don't see a picture of it anywhere. I should probably look that up while we're talking about this. But what do you need a stand for in the first place? You do need one, but I'm just, you know, mental exercise. Let's see, NW-700 stand. What does that look like? I was looking for images. And, oh, I don't know if that's the one that comes with it, but it looks like it comes with a boom arm. Well, these are also showing that it comes with both the ball filter and a pop filter. Excuse me, so these seem to be kits. Amazon, oh, that's gonna have, well, let me just, wow, I'm wasting time. Amazon. Well, it's showing that for $24.99 from Amazon, you get a boom stand, which I don't think it's as good as the one as I bought. Oh no, yeah, some of that is not sturdy, or doesn't look sturdy, but it looks like it'll get the job done, and if you don't abuse it, it should be fine. It looks pretty similar to the one that I got from Shure that was like $100 retail. I can't remember what I paid. But yeah, if the picture that they're showing on Amazon is the one that you're getting, then that's pretty good. Oh, 35 centimeters by 35 centimeters. That's similar to what I have. Pretty close. I don't use the decimal system that much, but yeah, that looks like about 35 to 40 centimeters per reach on my boom arm. So that's going to be good. The thing that I want to keep in mind there is, will your mic stand put your mic where you need it, when you need it, and if that need changes, will it adjust? And the one that's showing here is, yeah, it has a clamp mount, so you can mount it to a table or desk, and if that doesn't work, you can unclamp it, put it on a different part of the desk, and then, so that might come in handy for your guitar situation. So when you're setting it up, if you're going to be recording a lot of guitar, keep in mind, will this go where I need it? And you don't want to sit right next to the desk probably when you're playing. Random thoughts. So that, yeah, if that's the stand that it comes with, you're looking pretty good there. And again, that was $25 on Amazon for that whole kit. Pretty good value. And from the review that I saw, that I'll be linking, it seems like it sounds good enough. I should have listened to it with headphones instead of my speakers, but it seemed like that was going to be good enough. See, stand, Phantom Power. This microphone is a condenser microphone, right? Yeah, condenser microphone, and I don't think condenser microphones need phantom power. I was going to look that up. Oh, I did look it up somewhere, but I don't see my tab for phantom power. Now, the review that I'll be linking, the guy says that because of the electronic workings inside the microphone, it does require some power, but more along the lines of 5 volts rather than the full 48 phantom power. So you don't need phantom power, and phantom power does not cut out the hiss. It's not a noise reducer. Some microphones have electronic workings inside. Some of them have electromagnets instead of I can't remember, but their magnetic field is not strong enough unless they're powered, or it has 0 to not enough until you add power to it. And then some of my microphones have electronic components that need power, and then I think that's pretty much the 2 main reasons why you would need phantom power. So typically it's with I want to say dynamic mics, and then some types of audio equipment where that phantom power comes in handy. Like I have a cloud lifter, which I think was $150. And what it does is it takes phantom power from my converter, which is a Focusrite Scarlett Solo, which is pretty good, and it's got good reviews, and it's pretty clean. So, but anyway, I use the phantom power from that to power the cloud lifter, and it specifically, and there's a few other devices that do this as well, turn that phantom power into gain, so that the sound coming from the microphone hits my converter before it goes to the computer, and basically raises the volume. In more layman's terms, it turns the volume up on it so that we get even more signal to noise in that ratio. But if I just hooked the Focusrite directly up to the microphone and use that phantom power, nothing would happen. Nothing good anyway. Yeah, it might cause problems, but I think for the most part, most modern microphones that don't need phantom power are immune to phantom power. You're not going to hurt it. There'll be a lot of people who will say that, oh no, you never want to have phantom power going to a microphone that doesn't need it. You'll damage your microphone or your whatever is providing the power. I don't know that that's true. I wouldn't use it if it doesn't need it, but at the same time, I don't think you're going to break anything. Probably. Not an expert. Don't use it if you don't need it. But the review that I saw, the guy was suggesting that it does need some power, more along the lines of like 5 volts. So he's got a recommendation for using a kind of USB clip, so that you plug that microphone into this little USB dongle, and then you plug the USB dongle into your computer device and get the sound into your computer that way. Stupid fly. And that way that you get the power to the microphone that it needs through the USB, and you still get the sound going into your computer. With the iRig, I don't know if you'd want the phantom power on for that or not. I think you would just have to experiment with it, maybe contact Neewer, see what they think about putting phantom power on their microphone, before you void your warranty. Or if you do get the iRig and you plug it in, try it without phantom power, it might be fine that way. I would think you're just gonna have to experiment. Puppies at the door. Stand, phantom power. So did we cover phantom power well enough there? Yeah. So like I've got the cloud lifter. There are other, and the Podcastage guy that I'm going to link to, he's got reviews for alternatives to the Cloud Lifter, that some are cheaper. You can look into that if you want to. iRig Pre. It seems like a really good device. And there's a video out for, I think it might actually be from the company that makes it, and it shows demonstrations of them unplugging the iRig, and then the sound quality is drastically different. But things to keep in mind there, if you've seen that video, is like when they're in like a mall environment, they're using a shotgun microphone, which, like I was describing the cardioid pattern of sensitivity for this Neewer microphone, and also this Shure has also a cardioid pattern. Shotgun microphone, very sensitive where it's pointing, a lot less sensitive where it's not pointing. So the way the lingo goes is that it rejects off-axis sound. So if what you're wanting to pick the sound up from isn't in front of it, then it's going to be too quiet. You've got to point that mic at what you want to hear, or it's going to sound too quiet and, you know, like the rest of the background noise. So I actually am surprised that you don't see more YouTubers and that kind of person using shotgun mics, because it seems like they'd be really good at rejecting background noise, which we talked about, and maximizing that signal to noise ratio. But then again, the problem with that is if I move over to here, then on the shotgun mic I'm going to seem a lot quieter or more far away, because what's going to happen is the sound, the reflective sound in the room, whatever is coming in from that direction is going to get a boost in volume. So if I come over here, my reflected sound is going to be almost as loud as I am. Probably not, but that's a better way of understanding it. The actual levels, I'm sure, are going to be off from there. iRig Pro. So yeah, if you do get the iRig Pro, you're going to need an XLR to XLR cable, which doesn't come with that microphone you're buying. They're not that expensive. Really what you need to keep in mind is how long do you want it. I don't think a cheap XLR cable is going to sound worse than an expensive XLR cable. I think that's going to come down more to durability and connectors. But if you're just going to connect it once, or 100 times or less, then that's not going to matter. If your chair is going to roll over the cord a lot, or you got to worry about things closing on it, then a more durable cable might be worth the money. But you might just want to save the money now and buy another cable later. Hard to say. So what you really need to think about there is the length of the cable. If it's too short, big problem. If it's long enough, you're okay. If it's too long, you're okay. And you have more flexibility if you want to change something around. If you want to get if you want to keep this over here where it is now, but you want to get your mic closer to over there, a longer cable allows that. It's pretty common sense, but you might not have thought of that. Okay, I think that covers all the audio stuff. Sound quality, yeah, background hiss, signal to noise ratio, that microphone, phantom power, cabling. Yeah, just watch that one video to see how that guy uses the USB dongle, and that should cover cabling pretty well. iRig. The iRig seems like it does have some features, so you can make some adjustments in your tablet or phone, whatever you're connecting it to. I'm not sure how good they are, but it should give you options. If you're using an Apple device, you're probably already going to have some recording equipment or recording software on there. If you're going to go with a Windows or Android probably, I don't know, but you might have to get additional software. I'm sure there's something free available. It's just another frontier where you can spend money or not, and then you get varying quality. Whatever. Pop filter. yeah, it comes with one. You shouldn't need one anyway, and tricks for how to avoid plosives and what they are. Stand, I think you're in good shape there. Phantom power, I think we covered that well enough. You shouldn't need it. It shouldn't hurt it if you use it when you don't need it, but contact the manufacturer. And iRig Pre seems like a pretty good device. Yeah, when you're in the demo video that I saw, they were comparing the microphone that is in the tablet and versus with the iRig plugged in, but they kind of glossed over the fact that the microphone itself has certain qualities like ambient sound rejection and on-access sensitivity. So it's not really the iRig that's doing it, it's the microphone, but the iRig lets you use the qualities of the microphone, the attributes of the microphone. So if that can be sensitivity pattern, that can be the actual quality of the microphone, and also getting but as far as signal to noise, I would think that the microphone that's in the device has a direct connection, to everything else in the device, so you're going to get less signal to noise, or electronic signal to noise, that way. But yeah, the iRig should still be pretty good. Plus, you get the benefits of a better microphone. Microphones that come on tablets and portable devices, good enough for phone calls, for sure. But yeah, if you're wanting to do guitar work, you can demonstrate what you can do, but you're not maximizing the quality of the experience. So having the better mic with the iRig or without the iRig should help that way. So I don't think you need the iRig, but it wouldn't be bad to have, I don't think. But you'll need the extra XLR cable, or the real XLR cable. All right, new channel. I don't think you need to do that. If you want to rebrand yourself as yourself, that's a good reason to do it. If you feel like you need to compartmentalize your guitar playing and music personality or brand or parts of your life, if you just want to partition your life, so this is me playing games and having fun with my friends, this is my music, you can do that, but I don't think that you're going to be producing enough content, and the audience that you're going to be reaching, I don't think are going to be put off by you having everything on one channel. I think most of the people that are going to be interested in your music channel are already going to be interested in your potato chip plays and growing those two independently. If growth is really what you're wanting, then I think that's going to be a little bit harder. Probably want to go with one channel if growth is what you're interested in. But again, if you want that separation, or if you want to switch to a new one and just make you your brand, then that makes sense. But I'm not sure what you're expecting to get out of having a new channel or two channels, but it's not a bad idea. I'm just not sure what you're expecting to get out of it, and it might not be what you need. Anyway, what else do we got here? Let's see. Oh, you're gonna this talent thing. So if you can get this guy, is it a guy? I think you said it was a guy. In on your scheme where he plays piano and you play guitar, and you're practicing separately, you're going to want to make sure that you can agree on a tempo so that you're both practicing at about the same tempo, and also what would you call that? The flavor of it, because yeah, you've got your tempo, your meter, but then you also have a there are rhythmic qualities, where it can be either bouncier or jauntier, and if like one of you is playing it like wants to play it more staccato and bouncy, and the other person is wanting to play it with more sustain and more of a mellow, but at approximately the same speed, it could work, but it might sound weird. So you might also, try to decide what kind of tempo you want to use, and so you can practice at that tempo, and then share recordings of yourself with the other person so that they have an idea of what you're bringing to the table, and they'll have a better idea what to expect when you eventually play together, including practicing together, because that's just one thing you can avoid in your early practice sessions, is try to get closer to being on the same page. Definitely, when you start practicing together, focus on that mesh. You guys can nail your parts separately but still sound awful together because you're not together. You're just two independent things doing kind of the same thing. So you really need to practice together, and again, share independent recording of your solo practices. So again, it's easier to mesh when you start playing together. And then I didn't understand if you were going to be doing a video together and presenting the video. It seemed like that's what you were saying, or if you're going to be doing a live performance. If you're going to be doing a live performance, the thing that no one ever tells you is the way that nervous adrenaline is going to hit you. And typically in music, especially for percussionists, that tends to manifest in speeding up and playing faster than you intended, faster than you practiced, because you're nervous and that's got to go somewhere and it goes faster. So if you are going to play live, or even if you're going to have a situation where this is our one chance to record and we've got to get it right, that might make you nervous enough so that you've got a little bit of a pump going, and that can throw off your timing and your flow. So let's see, is that everything? Practice together. Blah 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 blah. Oh, I can't read my own writing. I don't know what that says. Ren alive? Renaline? I don't know. Maybe that's an N? No, it's not an N. Okay. Well, I guess that's going to be it then. Obviously, this was too much to write down, so that's why I did it in this video format. I'll put it on my channel, and I'm going to share it with you, and then anyone else that's watching this. Why? Maybe you got something out of it, but all right. To my good friend Lynn, I hope you found this useful.